Welcome, beautiful souls, to our very special edition for the full moon in Taurus that is happening on Hallows Eve 2020. This has not happened. The second full moon, it's called the blue moon, and it's also called the harvest moon, but this will not happen again. Has not happened on Hallows Eve, where the veils are thin, since about 1944, and will not happen again in our lifetime, because it will take place again only on 2065 next. So this is a very special time. Coming to you today on the 29th, and I have to share first for this that we had a huge Schumann spike last night on 10/28/2020. And the Schumann resonance is Gaia's heartbeat. It's our frequency. And all through, since about 2018, we've been seeing these huge Schumann spikes, as above, so below. So the frequency is literally changing. A couple of days prior to that, the sun put out a mass ejection of energy. And as we know, we're all connected, as above, so below, that as our consciousness rises, it's also having an influence not only on our beautiful planet, but also the sun, our life force. So blessed be, do what you can. I know it hit me like a ton of bricks around 10:28 p.m. last night. And if you are sensitive to energy and are not aware of this type of frequency shifting on Mother Planet Earth, Gaia, just know that it can come through to you. I experienced hot flushes through my body. It was like instant. Felt a little bit of anxiousness and jittery feeling. And so I immediately did what I had in my self-care toolbox to get into water and increase my drinking of water, because it is a beautiful conduit. Water's cleansing and purifying. And so it can really help us move these high frequencies through our bodies so that it doesn't come through as the anxiousness. It also had an influence on my sleep last night. And as we are building farther and farther into this full illumination of our beautiful Taurus moon coming up on Hallows Eve, we are really just in a time of huge transformation. The sun in Scorpio season, we are in that right now. So Scorpio season's taken a lot of us into our deep emotional, because it's a water sign, into our deep emotional fears. So if you have something coming up within you that is triggering a fear, be very consciously aware of that, and also kind of try to be the observer of it. I know when that frequency shot through me last night, I could feel it up through my feet. I don't know if it's because I'm a double earth sign and I'm just in tune with the feelings of the body and the body of the planet, or what, but I know a lot of sensitive souls are feeling it even if they don't or are not aware of that yet, because we are all connected. So Scorpio season can be bringing us into the darkest depths of what our fears may be. And the beautiful thing about this conversation between the Scorpio sun right now illuminating the Taurus moon is that it's this conversation between the divine masculine, our sun energy, our life force. It is in conversation with Taurus, the fixed earth sign. And so it could be taking us dark and deep, but just know that the bird's eye perspective is that we are shedding and morphing and transitioning. So I pulled up the chart and I will read that with you too, but I want to share the Sabian symbols because it's happening at 8 degrees at 10:49 a.m. on the 31st, Hallows Eve, when the veils are already thin. And so Scorpio rules the reproductive and the sexual organs. It's very psychic. It's very intuitive. You could be having feelings of betrayal or abandonment coming up so that you can face those fears. We're not supposed to turn from the fear, even though our egos sometimes may go into fight or flight. We're supposed to feel them and go deep into them and face them. So betrayal, abandonment, sexual betrayal may be coming up for any of you guys right now. And it's looking over at the Taurus moon and that illumination of the feminine energy, right? The sun being masculine, the receptive feminine energy of the moon. So this beautiful harmonious conversation going on between our feelings and our emotions and what we need to take forward in our truth, because Taurus rules the throat chakra and the thyroid, of embodying, transforming, and transmuting any of these things within us. I find it's a beautiful conversation going on between the two, even though it's dark and deep, but it's really wanting us to get into those values of the Taurus energy and what brings us comfort, what makes us feel good. And it may feel a little uncomfortable if we're diving deep, like I said, with the scorpionic energy. It's not easy to go deep and dark into the feelings that we may have brought in through past lives, even of fears where somebody abandoned you or betrayed you, or even perhaps in this lifetime. But if we just trust the divine, face all of these things, because to say that a human doesn't have fear is just bullshit. We all have fears. And what that is really our egos wanting to protect us. But in order to go deep into the fears of whatever they may be rising up within you, we have to face them. And I feel that's so beautiful with the Scorpio sun having this conversation with its opposite sign of Taurus in the earth, in the vessel, what we need to do for changing, to embody and embrace. And so I'm going to share the Sabian symbols for both the 8-degree sun in Scorpio. So grab yourself a tea. This may be a little bit longer. I'm really excited to share this special and my perspective on this energy that we have going on. And I will just say that if it has to be 2 parts, make sure that you look out for the second part as well, okay? So, full moon, blue moon, second moon in a month, hasn't happened since 1944 on Hallows Eve, and it will not happen again until 2065. So this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal for us to raise our vibration, to overcome our fears by facing them, and then taking forward what we truly value, that Taurus energy, with healthy relationships with others, with dropping down into our heart space. So, 8 degrees of the sun in Scorpio, it seems that many are going through huge changes, challenges, and rather surprising shifts of consciousness at the moment. People have said that this will be a difficult time for many, and I suspect that they are right. We are being pushed into new ways of being, new ways of seeing our lives, new ways of making our mark on the world. Indeed, and for many, there's a need for a waking up in a whole new paradigm, a new reality. It seems I have spoken about this myself many times, and we are going through major changes, and some, I think, in fact, many of us are finding ourselves in emotional, physical, and states that may feel unfamiliar. These few days currently leading up to this full moon, whether we are believers in Halloween or not, is rather extraordinary time. Halloween on the 31st of October is for a good reason. The sun travels over several amazing Sabian symbols during this period each year. This year, we have the added breakthrough in dimensions with the moon's north node traveling over the supergalactic center of late Virgo and Libra, giving us a whole nother shove in the direction of ascension and consciousness. So that's where that amazing light coming in is literally shifting us. It's shifting our DNA. It can shift our perspectives. It feels very uncomfortable and uncharted, so just whatever's in your self toolbox, utilize it, guys. I was spraying rose water all over me because it's high vibration last night, drinking a lot of my lemon water, and got myself in an Epsom salt bath and connected to God, Creator, Source, and called upon my beautiful Prince of Peace, my guide, Yeshua, to be with me as I transmuted that energy. So do whatever it is for you. So I'll show you this image too as well. The symbol implies seeing things reflected in the world around us. 8 degrees of Scorpio. It can also show someone who loses the plot through not being able to discern reality from fiction, intuition from dreaming, or what's theirs from somebody else's emotions, thoughts, or reality. Certainly, this speaks to the depth, the intellect, the intuition, and the emotions, because Scorpio's fixed water. Very healthy boundaries is a must for all water signs. Whether they're hidden depths or not, there may be a strong sense of things being reflected as the moon reflects on the lake, much like a mirror. So that sun is shining on our moon, that illumination from across the sky, illuminating the moon, our feelings, our emotions. What needs reflection or less projection? Are things evaluated merely on superficial level? Are they able to see things or how they really are? Look for signs you need to observe and watch life can be reflected around you. Reflections and reactions, mirrors, stillness, quietness, projection, especially based on appearances, psychic abilities, and deep emotions. So it's very important, especially if you have a lot of scorpionic energy or sun, moon, rising, that you're not projecting your hidden subconscious fears, wounds of betrayal, abandonment, sexual betrayal onto somebody else. So acting out, moodiness, losing the plot, relating to others as if a mirror, codependency, relationships, superficial responses, narcissism, and too afraid for depth. That is huge to how I say to turn and face the fears instead of projecting and becoming so fixed in our emotions that we're blaming others for the things that are happening really within us. Projecting what we're seeing out on the world stage right now is a lot of the projection, because people have not utilized this pause of 2020 to really dive deep and allow their emotions to surface, no matter what they are. They're turning from them and blaming others. So indeed, we may be going deeply during this Scorpio season, but towards this full moon in Taurus, we need to now look beyond the surface of the layers. Huge. And I will give credit to who wrote this, which is Linda Hill, Sabian symbol of 8 degrees of Scorpio. What I find really crazy and beautiful is now, okay, so we have the sun 8 degrees, we have the moon Taurus 8 degrees, and then right there on top of it is also Uranus, which is our cosmic conversation. It is the higher downloads that we can get from spirit, is quick, fast, lightning change. It is also 8 degrees. So in this chart for the full moon on Hallows Eve, there's an 888. To me, that's a high frequency of the infinity number, and it's 3 times magnified. So I found that to be completely mind-blowing as well. Set this over here. So to the 8-degree Taurus, so leading up to this full moon, we go from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 degrees, and it's this building and this progression and soul evolution of where we are progressing and evolving. So 6 degrees is the bridge being built across the gorge. So it's the bridge, this conversation between our feelings, our intuition with the scorpionic energy into how we're going to embody it. What makes me feel safe? What makes me feel comfort, so that we can walk the walk. It is the woman of Samaria. So it's the woman that went to the well, that was feeling defeated, that was feeling like everybody was shunning her. And there, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the hot daytime, Yeshua appears, because he was psychically intuitive and knowing where he needed to go, that he greeted her with the comfort and let her know that it doesn't matter what other people think of her, that He knew her heart. So I love that part. We're leading up to this. So 8 degrees is the sleigh without snow. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to intuitively see how that relates to me. It's like the sleigh without snow is, to me, and whatever comes up for you, I'm feeling this energy of we're not quite sure where we're going yet. We've been feeling our emotions. We've been getting in tune with what really makes us feel comfort, safe, what we truly value. But we're not quite ready to take off yet. So this push-pull energy, because we're so collectively in this shift, could be what is coming up for many of you, because I know it is for me. So that's what the sleigh without snow to me kind of represented. So listen, having power, we expect to apply it to resist imposition and to overcome obstacles is a pursuit of our desires and expectations. It is compelling and motivating force that reaches out to the mountains to climb and the oceans to cross. Inevitably, issues arise. Often, dark energies become quite dominant, and we have to come to terms with choices where we are absolutely challenged on matters of principle. It takes greatness of self-assurance to trust the dark side will lead to the light. And indeed, that there is no other path available to travel if one is to awaken at the very deepest levels of self. So in other words, going inner is the only route, and there's huge transformation. The supreme test to master physical reality requires the attitude of the magician who applies powerful will and profound inner sense of spiritual heritage. So knowing that you're a divine child of God, that you're not this body. I have a 10-degree moon. This is huge for me. I feel an epiphany coming, a culmination of ending the beginning in a new way. And so how I want to manifest that around me is really coming up. So it's a knowingness of your spiritual heritage. It's in order to shift manifestation around in all realms, whether higher or lower. The magician has elegance and plays out the role of creator. So it's your knowingness of co-creating what you want, being the magician. Everything is seen on a symbolic level as it is representation of the deeper hidden truth. So that's very Scorpio. The dark, deep, hidden things. And this way of seeing life becomes a path that supports continual self-renewal. It is found by the wiser rather than the counterintuitively that optimism, personal influence arises through complete self-application in the service to the needs of others. So serve thyself. It's about embodying it and knowing that you're a co-creator. So the cultural implications of 8 degrees of Taurus are sometimes we need community to help pull us all up. We feel real and of relevance when we acknowledge the groundedness in some collective achievement, which renews our hope. As a result of the process of suffering and rescue, we are more open to spirit and once again encouraged to imagine a bright future, as indeed we must if we are able to complete this exercise of self-rescue. Our capacity to employ faith to turn the dark energy of Scorpio, the dark hidden things, into the light. It begins with a context of our relationship with self, our relationship with others, with family and close friends, as we can evolve into the general spiritual wisdom of service. So that more so is grounding the emotions, feelings, and what we have transformed and transmuted, because Scorpion energy is the transformation. It is in order to dive deep in within ourselves to face the things that we need to overcome, and then becoming that phoenix rising. But without great works, without great actions in the physical with the Taurus, embodying it, walking it, not just talking it, it's all void, it's all dead. It's like falling on deaf ears to yourself, because you're not in your heart and your authenticity. I find it magical that scorpionic energy order is the creative energy, the reproductive organs, and then the throat chakra and the thyroid with the Taurus energy. So it's really just bringing that feminine, masculine energy within all of us. And so before I forget this, I took a little bit of time to do my cards ahead of time, because I wanted to save some time in order to make sure that the Sabian symbols for this 888 really is huge. And the first one we received was the Lion Spirit. Be gracious to Spirit. So this is calling upon the God Creator Source and to be with you and to not push that energy of Spirit out. It's better to go within, connect, and then in that Taurus energy, allow that to manifest in yourself in relationships with others, of being uplifted, being guided to see through the illusions with that scorpionic energy, right? Of no more projecting, no more narcissism, no more self-gratification, but self-love first. And so a healthy ego means that you bring God into your knowingness instead of edging God out. I gotta put my glasses on or else I can't read all of this. I know for me that was what I did instantly last night when I felt that Schumann spike. It came up intensely within me. It wasn't long after I started calling on Yeshua, Son of God, to be with me and taking my action, right? You can't just say, come do it for me. You have to get into the water, because it's a beautiful way to get that energy moved through you, because it's a conduit. And then not only that, but increase my water, spraying myself with high vibe rose mist. We are our own saviors, and what the light coming in through this galactic energy and all of the Schumann spikes and even the changes within us is bringing forth the Christ consciousness, having the spiritual courageousness. So this is a reminder that you've been given the gift of pride and healthy sense of your worth to express your divine, authentic self in unique ways. You are both the king and the queen, secure in your prosperity and wisdom, and generous of spirit as you help others. Take pride in the ability to serve from the heart. Contentment with what you have right now allows you to use the resources wisely as you give to others in ways that educate, heal, inspire, and delight. Be proud, yet humble. Practice gratitude, and you will find that the accolades that come to you are no match for the joy of knowing that you have been able to do for others through expressing the bounty of generosity within you. Lion Spirit knows that there is a great savannah before you, and many who will benefit from the healthy expression of your unique expression and set of gifts. If you choose to work in partnership with Spirit, all your relationships flourish as you express your worth and generosity of spirit with humility and kindness. What a blessing you can be to all. My life changed when I stopped. I got, in my younger years, was very turned away from God, Creator, Source, Jesus, Yeshua, all of the beautiful things I knew that were available to me by religion. The moment that I stepped back within myself, went within and connected with the divine creator of the universe, is when every freaking thing changed for me. And I embodied that within myself. Nobody was coming to save me. I created healthy boundaries. I started loving myself after I connected with Creator first. And then you put out that energy to God, Creator, Source of the universe. That's what you receive. I got over the feelings of shame. I got over the feelings of abandonment, because ultimately I was never abandoned, nor were you by spirit. In the flesh you may have been, but if that's the case, then it was asking you to go within yourself and learn the lessons of real, true, healthy self-worth, which only comes from God, Creator, Source, not by humans. And the second card I pulled was divine support. This is like connecting with Creator every day. I know for me, it's a must. I sit in stillness every morning and connect. It's a must for me. It's a must for my nervous system. At the same time as this full moon happening in Taurus, the sun speaking and illuminating the beautiful moon, the masculine, the feminine, upon this Taurus, the ruler of Taurus is Venus. He is retrograde back into the sign of Libra, where we're wanting more justice, where we're wanting more balance, where we're wanting more fairness. And Mercury is also there too. And Mercury is the intellect, the lower mind, and it is having a conversation with, the sun is having a conversation with Uranus, which is right there at 8 degrees with this full moon, where we need to come up with new innovative ways. We can have lightning fast aha moments at this time. And Uranus to me is the cosmic mind. It is the consciousness in this big soup of being all-seeing, being connected with Creator and others, to point where you may be having, you could be getting prophetic dreams right now at this time leading up to this full moon. And Venus, the feminine energy, is having a conversation with Aries, Chiron in Aries, which is that wounded healer. It is the spiritual essence of yourself that is no longer bound down by the things and the experiences that you may have before felt wounded in, and kind of having this conversation going, you know what? It's an opportunity to love myself, to nurture any of those wounds, to lick your wounds, so to speak, and really keep rising, to know that when you heal yourself, you're healing the world one by one, because we're all connected. And really paying attention to what comes up within you right now, especially with your feelings and emotions and your fears. Like I said, with that sun in Scorpio, it is bringing up the dark, deep things that we may have already worked on. And what I feel like this full moon in Taurus, if you've already been on your path, can help us really evolve. Huge if you've already been doing your work of having a knowingness within you of what brings you comfort, what makes you feel good, what makes you embody your knowingness and connection with your feelings, your emotions, your mind, body, spirit, soul. So what else do we want to share before I do a couple more cards? I'm super excited about it. My birth moon is 10 degrees of Taurus. I've worked my ass off to be where I am today, about 6 years past my first initial awakening, and I've went dark deep into, and still do, into the fears that rise up, facing them. And I've actually been reflecting with this Mercury retrograde as well, with just how far that I've came, and that opportunity is there for each one of us if we just go inner, connect with spirit like this lion here, and be spiritually courageous to face our own shit. That way we can have the understanding that we're divinely supported, and we can go forward with more of that balance of the Libra energy, with Venus and Mercury traveled retrograde back into it of, okay, this is where I'm going to level the playing field. I'm not going to project, I'm not going to blame. I'm instead going to co-create what I want so that I can be the magician and manifest the world that I want to see. So, not always easy. I'm going to pull another one from this Moonology Oracle. And then possibly, I still have time on my camera here, and we may do one to anchor this message in with a crystal. So, sure is a bright, beautiful one. I've been awake for 2 nights. Last night, not only because of the brightness here, but that Schumann resonance just put some energy through me, and I needed to probably get outside and do some running in place or something. But Work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. With everything I just said, speaking of that this Scorpion season, moving into this full moon, we are having deep, deep embedded fears. This could be even from past lives, like I said, of abandonment, of shame, of sexual betrayal, of anything dark hidden. In order to heal it, we need to face it. So work through the fears. Plant the seed. This is the new moon in Scorpio. Plant the seed right now that you will not ignore anything that comes up within you that makes you feel hurt, betrayed. Allow yourself to be the phoenix rising and not the stinger of blaming other people. Or another one was just cutting people out of your life. I know somebody actually that's done this. They just cut people out all the time, and then holding no accountability of why they do that same pattern over and over again. The closure doesn't happen when we do that. And so really face your fears, guys. Allow a balance and new perspective with the Libra energy of seeing all perspectives, being willing to be a good listener. That's huge with Venus and Libra. Knowing when to just quiet and listen. So much healing can happen with that. Let's pull another one. I love it. From the Crystal Angel Oracle, because we have this fixed earth sign in Taurus, and I know for me, my emotions would get fixed a lot of times and just keep cycling. And so I've had to really balance that out within myself of going, hear other people's perspectives. Don't be so fixed on what you're doing, and being open to different perspectives. And not only that, expecting change with that Uranus energy right there, talking with the full moon and the sun. That is, Uranus is quick change, lightning change. This could be an energy like came through me with that Schumann last night. And it also could be sudden aha moments, because Uranus is the cosmic mind, the cosmic thinking. So you could have psychic insight that just comes on quickly. Be open to change, because Uranus is right there with our beautiful feminine energy of the moon. Tanzanite, ready to love again. You've healed from the past enough to open your heart to a new love. So this goes beautiful with the messages. Like I said, when you face your fears, when you dive deep, when you connect with the divine and be spiritually courageous to go into those dark, deep depths, to understand that perhaps betrayal and all that came up because you needed to know your self-worth, you needed to trust yourself, you needed to face those fears in order to bring forth healthy relationships. And the healthy relationships start with you first, always. I learned it all the hard way, guys. That's why I can share. Always remember that you have divine support. Make sure you get out if the clear skies and just check out the moon at night. Breathe it in. Get your feet on the earth. Ground it in. Be open to shifts and changes. Be generous with spirit, because once you get on that path, it is another aha moment. I mean, one after another. So I just find it's beautiful. This is a special full moon, guys. This illumination from the sun in Scorpio shining upon our beautiful Taurus moon, that masculine feminine energy, an opportunity to balance ourselves by facing the shit that we carried many lifetimes within ourselves. Being open to shifts and changes, because 2020 is definitely that. It's a foundational year of a 4, which is we need to build our inner foundations on something strong. And to me, that goes back to this message of not edging God, creator of the universe, out of our lives. God first, Christ consciousness within you will rise. And part of that is made in his her image, which is you are very intuitive. You're very psychic. Trust that. The heart is the truth in the way. And I hope that your full moon in Taurus, that will not happen again on Hallows Eve when this veil is thin, to connect to spirit, to allow those downloads to come through. Beautiful fat illumination of this full moon, and it won't happen again on Hallows Eve. till 2065. So this is an amazing, magical time, as it said in that Sabian symbol, of being the magician, co-creating the life that you want. Love yourselves up. Talk to you next time.